This is a cheap flight adventure to Beijing in China. But wait, how can this be a cheap flight adventure? Surely this should be an expensive flight adventure? Well, no, because going to Beijing actually massively reduced the cost of the trip to Hong Kong, meaning that we effectively got Beijing for free. But actually, going to Beijing was better than free because it reduced our costs, so it definitely is a cheap flight adventure. So then, here I am in Beijing. Get on the metro system into town. And let's start off with these absolutely epic glass lifts that go nice and fast, 2 meters a second, and the theming just looks amazing on these lifts. So let's ride them.
好吧，行，那我等几天再看看再说。
And along we go to a posh hotel. This hotel is very, very posh, and it's got some very nice lifts, but these lifts aren't really quite fast enough. They go 3 meters a second, and for the large number of floors, it's a bit slow for this building really, but still very nice. And along we go to Tourist Central, right into the very centre of Beijing. And this is where everyone says it's the centre. And we did not research Beijing at all before we went, so everything was a bit of a surprise. And the very centre of Beijing, not many buildings about at all, disappointingly. We found ourselves in Tourist Central. Tourists everywhere and very touristy looking buildings. But to get into the tourist area, there is a typical police checkpoint, and all of Chinese citizens have to scan their ID card, which is definitely not so they can sync up their face recognition cameras to who's in the area. Yeah, there's a lot of police checkpoints in China and there's a lot of surveillance. So then, into Tourist Central we go. And this is quite an eye-opener to that China is actually a communist country, especially when they've got a big picture of one of their leaders up on the building. Very communist looking. So into Tourist Central, tourists everywhere, looks touristy, and there's a sign saying it's a trolley bus. Turns out it wasn't a trolley bus. It's a little electric vehicle. That is no way is that a trolley bus. It doesn't even have trolley wires. And they charge 23 pence to go on this. So same price as going on a public transport in Ukraine. And it went just 200 metres until we got to the end of the route. And that was definitely not worth 23p.
来，你那交钱啊，3位是吗？
So then, let's get back to the metro system to go to somewhere else where it's more interesting lifts. So along to the metro system we go. went along to the Beijing equivalent of Canary Wharf. Much better. Just look at these epic looking buildings. This area looks so nice and awesome. And along we go to the first lift, which is a nice glass lift. And along we go to some office lifts. And these office lifts are very, very nice. They are very posh. And they've got some epic Fujitech lifts. Let's ride them. Ooh. Oh, that's fast for a number of floors. Interesting lift. So then let's look around this area of Beijing, and it's very much like Canary Wharf in London, as there's a big massive underground shopping centre linking up all of the towers. And along we go to a nice tall tower which has some awesome Mitsubishi lifts. Yes, let's ride them. So let's go looking around this area of Beijing, and the buildings in this area look absolutely amazing. This area is awesome, and we went along to the most spectacular of the buildings here, and wow, that building is tall. But these are the most prestigious buildings, and there's no chance of getting in them. So let's go to some less prestigious, but more interesting for us, because we can go and explore them buildings. And along we went to the Shangri-La Hotel, and bloody hell, this is beyond posh. This is absolutely crazily posh. Chandeliers everywhere. There's not a single light here that is not a chandelier. And along to the lifts, which are some very, very epic Fujitech lifts. And they go nice and fast, 4 meters a second. Wow. New Fujitech. Very nice. We're off somewhere, so we waited in the lift. Could be recall. How posh this lift is. Oh, 20. Oh, only 19. Very posh. And now along we go to the next hotel, which is the Hyatt Hotel. This hotel has an epic 6 metre a second Otis high speed. Now Otis high speed lifts, well, let's just say Otis isn't as good as other brands like Mitsubishi or Schindler or Cone. And you don't see many high speed Otis lifts, and 6 meters a second, you can't argue that. That is proper fast. This lift goes non-stop from the underground shopping centre all the way up to the very top of the hotel. Let's see, it should be fast, I hope. It's an Otis. Maybe not so fast. 3 metres a second, 4 metres a second, 5, 6 metres a second. I think it's 5. For cheap and nasty. Oh, the acceleration's really long. I'm not sure, I think it's about 6. I don't know if it's 7, it's definitely 6. And let's take a look around this top of this hotel. And Luke asked the staff here if they could fill up his water bottle. And the staff went yes, and gave him a bottle of water, and then went, that costs £12. Luke gave it back because £12 for a bottle of water, that is stupid. Yeah, this hotel is very overpriced, and the people here are the sort of posh people that think nothing of handing over £12 for a bottle of water. And at the top of this hotel, there are some Otis Gen 2s up to the restaurant level. In 61 and 66. This hotel looks absolutely amazing. Whee! Oh, the speed. Well, actually, no, it accelerates slow, so it doesn't feel that good, but it keeps going and going and going, getting faster and faster. Safety brake at speed? No, not possible. It's locked. I reached full speed now. It took how long to reach full speed? Oh, I don't know if it's 6 or 7. It accelerates for ages, but acceleration's so gentle, I'm going to say it's just 6 rather than 7. Very posh. That's what your alarm sounds like. We're deaccelerating. Now test the bounce, because we're on a very tall lift. No, not much bounce. That's surprising. So then, it's now time to go back to the airport, and we stopped off at Beijing on the way back home. I now thoroughly regret not stopping off in Beijing on the way there as well as the way back home, because the 6 hours we got on Beijing on the way back home simply were not enough. So then, along we go back to the airport, and let's take a look around the airport, which has some eco-discs. And there are these very interesting eco-discs down to a transit train station, but the transit train doesn't even come here. This seems like they were planning to have the transit trains that people are already past security could change between terminals by adding this extra station, but then they changed their mind and had it so this transit train stops before security, meaning that this transit train station is abandoned.
We were never here. Surprised it's that easy to get down there.
正常进来。走。